The story of Vietnam begins long, long ago, in a time of myths and legends. It was the age of the Hung kings, the very first kings of the land. Their reign started around the year 2879 BC. This period was super important because it marked the birth of Van Lang, the first Vietnamese nation. This laid the foundation for the Vietnamese people and their country. The Hung kings are more than just historical figures. They are woven into the very fabric of what it means to be Vietnamese. Their stories are told through many generations and speak of courage, resilience, and a deep love for their land. They are the roots of Vietnamese culture. Every country has its own stories about how it came to be. For Vietnam, that story begins with a dragon and a fairy. It's the legend of Loc Long Quan and Ao Co, a tale about love, sacrifice, and the birth of a nation. Loc Long Quan was a dragon lord who ruled the seas. Ao Co was a beautiful mountain fairy. Their union represents the harmony between the sky and the earth. And from this union, something magical happened. Ao Co gave birth to a pouch of 100 eggs, which hatched into 100 sons who became the ancestors of the Vietnamese people. This story is at the heart of Vietnamese identity. The story of Vietnam continues with the 100 sons of Loc Long Quan and Ao Co. The eldest son, Hung Vuong, became their leader and established the first Vietnamese nation, naming it Van Lang. This marked the beginning of a new era. Hung Vuong was a wise and just king. He divided his kingdom into 15 regions, each ruled by one of his sons, ensuring unity and stability. Under Hung Vuong's rule, Van Lang prospered, agriculture flourished, people lived in peace, and they developed their own unique culture. It was the dawn of a new age of prosperity and growth. The time of the Hung kings is full of legends and myths. One of these is the story of Sun Tin and Thuy Tin, a struggle between two powerful forces that speaks about the Vietnamese relationship with nature. Sun Tin was the mountain god who ruled over the land. Thuy Tin was the water god who ruled over the seas. Both wanted to marry the daughter of Hung Vuong, so King Hung devised a challenge. Whoever brought him the most precious gifts would marry his daughter. In the end, Sun Tin was victorious. This story highlights the importance of respecting the balance of the natural world. Part 5. Echoes of the Past. The enduring legacy of the Hung kings. The time of the Hung kings might be shrouded in the mists of time, but their legacy continues to shape Vietnam today. The marks of this era are not just fairy tales, but deep cultural, spiritual, and historical values. The Hung kings are revered as the fathers of the nation. They are not just kings, but symbols of beginnings, of unity, and of patriotism. Their influence can be seen in many aspects of Vietnamese culture. From traditional festivals and family gatherings to everyday customs and practices, all bear the mark of the Hung kings era. One of the most enduring legacies is the spirit of unity and patriotism. This spirit has helped the Vietnamese people overcome many challenges and difficulties throughout their history. The legend of 100 children coming together to build a nation continues to inspire. This story is not just a myth, but a symbol of unity and love for one's country. The Vietnamese people are known for their strong national identity, rooted in their shared history and reverence for their ancestors. This identity is expressed through community events, historical sites, and traditional cultural values. The Hung kings also left their mark on the Vietnamese language. The language is not just a means of communication, but a bridge between the past and present, between generations. Many landmarks and traditions can be traced back to their reign. These landmarks are not just tourist destinations, but symbols of Vietnamese history and culture. Their stories are woven into Vietnamese literature and folklore. These stories are not just literary works, but lessons about history, patriotism, and unity. The legacy of the Hung kings is not just about the past, but about remembering their roots and striving for a brighter future. This legacy is a source of inspiration, pride, and motivation for the Vietnamese people to continue building and developing their country. Part 6. The Spirit of Creativity. The Wonders of Dong Son Bronze. The Hung kings era was a time of significant cultural and technological advancement. This is best exemplified by the Dong Son civilization, which flourished during this time and is known for its exquisite bronze casting techniques. The Dong Son people were masters of bronze, creating sophisticated and beautiful objects, including weapons, tools, and musical instruments. The most iconic of these is the Dong Son bronze drum. These drums were not only beautiful but also incredibly intricate in their design. They were used in religious ceremonies and played an important role in social and political life. The bronze work of the Dongsan civilization is a source of great national pride, providing a glimpse into a sophisticated and vibrant culture. Part 7. A nation built on rice. Agriculture in the time of the Hung Kings. The Hung Kings era witnessed the development of a sophisticated agricultural system, laying the groundwork for Vietnam's enduring connection to the land. Rice cultivation was central to their lives, sustaining a growing population. The people of this era developed innovative farming techniques, mastering the art of irrigation, which allowed them to cultivate rice on a large scale, leading to food surpluses. The importance of rice in Vietnamese culture is undeniable. It is celebrated in festivals and ceremonies. The agricultural legacy of the Hung Kings era is still evident today. This ancient connection to the land continues to shape the nation's identity and future. Part 8. From one generation to the next, passing down the stories of old. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Hung Kings era is how it has been preserved through oral tradition. For centuries, stories of the Hung Kings, their deeds and their time have been passed down orally, keeping their memory alive to this day. Grandparents tell their grandchildren tales of the Dragon Lord and the Fairy. Parents recount the battles between the Mountain God and the Water God. These stories are not just entertainment but a vital part of preserving Vietnamese history and culture. They instill pride and identity, teaching important lessons about morality, courage, and the importance of community. Oral tradition ensures that the spirit of the Hung Kings era lives on, connecting the present generation to a distant past. Part 9. The Hung Kings in the hearts of the people. Temples, festivals, and national identity. The legacy of the Hung Kings is not confined to history books or oral traditions. It is deeply ingrained in the everyday lives of the Vietnamese people. This reverence is evident in their temples, festivals, and their very national identity. Throughout Vietnam, numerous temples are dedicated to the Hung Kings. The most important of these is the Hung Kings Temple complex in Phu Tho province, considered the ancestral land of the Vietnamese people. Every year, millions of pilgrims flock here to pay homage to their ancestors and commemorate their shared heritage. One of the most significant events is the Hung Kings Death Anniversary Festival, held annually on the 10th day of the 3rd lunar month. This is a time for grand celebrations, traditional rituals, and community gatherings. The Hung Kings represent the very essence of what it means to be Vietnamese. Part 10. A legacy forged in bronze and belief. The timeless impact of the Hung Vuong era. The Hung Vuong era, though distant in time, has had a profound impact on modern Vietnam. The marks of this period are not only present in artifacts but are deeply ingrained in the cultural and spiritual life of the Vietnamese people. It was an era of fundamental importance, shaping the cultural, spiritual, and social landscape of the nation. Customs, practices, and rituals from this period have been preserved and evolved, creating a unique and rich cultural identity. The exquisite bronze works of the Dong Son culture are a testament to the ingenuity and artistic spirit of the Vietnamese people. The bronze drums and bells are not just artifacts but symbols of creativity and skill. These artifacts are a tangible link to the past and a source of immense national pride. They are not just ancient objects but vivid stories of history and culture. Beyond the tangible, the Hung Vuong era gifted Vietnam with a rich treasury of legends, myths, and fables. These stories are not just entertaining but carry valuable lessons about morality and life. These narratives have instilled core values of unity, resilience, and a deep respect for their ancestors. They serve as a source of inspiration and guidance for future generations, helping them understand and appreciate their roots and identity. The Hung Vuong era is a living force, continuing to shape Vietnam's present and inspire its future. The values and legacy from this period are not just relics of the past, but a solid foundation for Vietnam's future growth and prosperity. Part 11. The Eternal Spring of Vietnam. The Enduring Relevance of the Hung Kings. The Hung Kings are not just historical figures, they are timeless symbols of Vietnamese identity. They are the nation's founders, the ones who laid the foundation for the culture and traditions that the Vietnamese people are proud of today. Their story is a testament to the enduring spirit of a people who have overcome countless challenges throughout their history. From wars to defend their land to periods of economic hardship, the Vietnamese people have always found strength and resilience in the legacy of the Hung Kings. In modern Vietnam, the Hung Kings serve as a unifying force, reminding the people of their shared heritage and common goals. Every year on the Hung King's death anniversary, people from all over the country gather to commemorate and pay tribute to the kings, fostering a sense of unity and national pride. Their legacy transcends geographical boundaries and social divisions, uniting Vietnamese people at home and abroad. No matter where they live, the Vietnamese people preserve and pass on the cultural values that the Hung Kings left behind, creating a strong and connected community. The values that the Hung Kings championed, such as unity, hard work, and respect for tradition, are as relevant today as they were centuries ago. These values are not only reflected in everyday life, but also in cultural, educational, and social activities, contributing to the building of a strong and developed Vietnamese society. As Vietnam continues to develop and move towards the future, the Hung Kings remain a steadfast presence, a source of inspiration, and a reminder of the nation's enduring strength and resilience. They are symbols of perseverance and national pride, a driving force for the Vietnamese people to continue to rise and achieve new heights in the future.